Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we have another Steve Carell review for you. We are very close to being done, really. I think we only have a couple more months left, which is only like 8 or 9 movies. Next week is Minions. No, next week is not Minions. The week after that is Minions. I don't know if I'll include that on Steve Carell because it is only a cameo, but I am going to watch it and review it because I have to watch Despicable Me 3, and I'm assuming there's some kind of toss-up that it matters that I watch it, so I figured I'd watch it anyway. But today we have a Disney movie for you, and it's a movie that I watched when it actually came out, but I rewatched it today, and I forgot how great it is. It's really fun, and I'm really excited to talk about Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Alexander, the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day was released in 2014, so we're pretty close to 2020 now, which is pretty cool. We're almost in... There's nothing coming out yet of 2021 of his, but there will be later. And this was written by Rob Liber and directed by Miguel Arteta. I knew I was going to mess it up. I literally told myself. Anyway, so this movie's on Disney Plus, in case any of you guys were curious. It is on Disney Plus, so if you have Disney Plus, you can just watch it. And I watched this when it came out in 2014. I was younger then. I was like 13. And I watched it when it came out because I read this book in school and really liked it. And I was really excited to see a movie adaptation of it. And we waited forever for one. When this came out, I was very excited and I watched it. I don't remember what I originally thought of it because that was forever ago. I'm almost 20 now, so it was, forever ago. It's 7 years ago, so it's a long time ago that this came out. But I did watch it today. And I'm excited to talk about it. So for those of you who don't know what this is about, essentially it's about this little boy in a family. His name is Alexander. And he has an older brother and older sister and a young baby brother. And he's got a mom and a dad, of course. And Alexander just has awful days every day. Every single day of his life is awful. So one night, of course, he goes to bed. He's like, you know what, I just wish that, they could understand how bad my days are. And so he, curses the day, which is actually not true. It's not canon. They didn't actually curse the day. I have paint on my hand. I was painting earlier. And he didn't actually curse the day, but, it was a bad day for everyone else except for him, so that he thinks he did. And the family just goes on to have the worst day of their life, and it brings them together, and they understand that he has that kind of a problem, and they realize that as long as they have each other, it's not a bad day. Which is a really sweet thing, and also this is a fantastic family movie. For those of you who like family movies, I like family movies a lot. I never thought I liked family movies, but then I watch a family movie, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like Little Miss Sunshine, for instance. Loved that movie. It's a family movie. This is also a family movie. Movies, in my opinion, like The Christmas Chronicles, are more like a children's movie. But this is a full-blown family movie. Everyone in the family is going to enjoy this movie, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to talk about the acting and the plot as we go along, and I'll talk about each family member and what happens to them and why I think it's funny or why I think it's not good and stuff like that. So first, of course, Steve Carell as Ben Cooper. As those of you would know who is following the series, I am watching every Steve Carell film, and that is why I watched this film. We are kind of almost done. Is this releasing in January? This is January. This is the last January Steve Carell review, so we got a couple more months left. But essentially, he's the father, and he used to work in space shuttles for NASA and stuff, but recently got laid off. So he's been working with the baby, because they just had a baby. And then he finally gets an interview, and the interview is on the day that is cursed. So he has to go to the interview, but everyone else is also busy, so he has to take the baby with him. And it's not great. He has to do the interview with these young kids, and he's an adult, and he's at a video game design company. And he kind of blows it because the baby's not very good at behaving. And then later on, they meet up at a restaurant to talk again, and he sets his arms on fire, which is embarrassing. But eventually, he does land the job because I think he's fun. So I really enjoyed that. I think that maybe having him have some other bad things happen to him. I guess the car gets destroyed, but that wasn't his problem, I guess. Although it is his insurance, I suppose. But they didn't show, I think, enough grief in him. But he is supposed to be the most optimistic of them. So I was kind of happy to see that he was optimistic almost at the entire movie. Jennifer Garner as Kelly Cooper. So she is the mom. And essentially with Kelly, what happens with her is she works at a publishing company, and she has a book coming out on the cursed day. And they have Dick Van Dyke. For those of you who don't know Dick Van Dyke, he was in Mary Poppins, he was Bert. And he also had his own show. He did a lot. I'd like to do a Dick Van Dyke series in the future. That'd be kind of fun. Dick Van Dyke is going to read a children's book that they published, and hopefully it's going to make it very viral and very good. But because it was an awful, terrible, bad day, she's late because she is... her car was turned off because the battery ran out, which I'll get to later. I do like how everything like interlaces, like because the daughter did something, it's worse for her, and it like kind of it's really cool. I enjoyed the how it's all interlocked. But then she has to bike all the way to Dick Van Dyke, and then she doesn't look like an actual reporter, and Dick Van Dyke doesn't listen to her, and then he reads the book, but there's a typo, so instead of jump, everything says dump, so it's really funny. But it's bad for business, so she thinks she's going to get fired, but by the end of the movie, we discover that she's not going to get fired. It actually sold more copies than they expected, so that was good. Ed Oxenbould as Alexander Cooper. This performance, at first, I was kind of nervous about because he's young and I didn't think he was very good. His performance is fantastic. I didn't mention the other performances because they were so good I didn't even realize that they were actors. Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner were fantastic. I had no problem. Ed Oxenbould, I was a little concerned about in the beginning of the film, and I think he wasn't as good in the beginning of the film as he was towards the end. Towards the end, I was like, all right, that's clearly a good actor right there. He did really well. I enjoyed the end of the film a lot more than the beginning of the film with Alexander, but Alexander doesn't have a bad day. He did in the beginning of the film when he accidentally caught the lab on fire at school, and his enemy is having the same birthday party on the same day as him. But then the bad day for everyone else is a good day for him because he discovers that his enemy got chickenpox and has to cancel the party, so everyone's coming to his party, and then his dad throws him a sick birthday party that's Australian themed because he loves Australia. So genuinely a good performance, and I enjoyed the plot, how they were able to make it so that his day was better than everyone else's, even though everyone else's day was awful. Dylan Minnette as Anthony Cooper. First of all, I love Dylan Minnette. He's a fantastic actor, and this was even better than I thought. He's really, really good. I like him in everything he does. And so far, at least. At some point, maybe I'll do a series for him, but I feel like it's pretty short because he's pretty young. But Anthony is an attractive young man who has a girlfriend who's very controlling, but he doesn't realize. And on the very bad day, she breaks up with him in the morning because he said some things to his brother, but she thought she was talking about him. And then he has a zit on his forehead, which is an imperfection, and it's also prom, so he wants it to be perfect. And then he's going to take his driver's license. And he destroys the car because the lady tricks her into playing on his phone, and he crashes the car, basically wrecks it, and then they have to take the girl in the car with the family and bring her to dinner, which is at a place that she doesn't really like. Then he discovers that she's kind of a bitch and is just kind of playing with him, and so he dumps her, and it ended up being a good day for him. So I enjoyed that entire arc. I think his character arc was really solid in this film. And Karis Dorsey as Emily Cooper. So, first of all, she's, really attractive. I don't know how young she is in this movie, but, for some reason, I was, weird. But she's also my age, so that's interesting. I honestly had no idea she was my age, but she is. Pretty close, at least. But, she, for one, I think was a little bit too old to be playing the character she was. She was, she's 23 now, so she would have been 17, 18, trying to portray what I would assume would be a 13, 14-year-old because she's in 8th grade. So she's 13, 14. I think she looked a little too old because for me, I thought she was in high school, but she was in middle school, which in middle school there's no consequences. But she's in a play, she's Peter Pan, and she takes a lot of cough syrup because she gets a cold, because she has to practice in the car, which is why the battery died, and which, again, the interconnectivity is really good here. And I am quite impressed with how interlocked it was, and her performance in general was really, really solid. It is an inconvenience for me, in my opinion, because she was, she looked too old. I don't know how old 8th graders are, but I feel like she's too old. She at least had the appearance of being too old to play that character. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, for instance, always looks too young to play a character. Such as in The Man of the Iron Mask, it kind of ruined the film for me because I was so distracted by how young he was to be a king. In here, it didn't ruin the movie for me, but like every time she was on screen, I was like, "Ooh, why is she older than like everyone?" She even appeared older than Dylan in this movie, which is, I don't understand why, but she did, which is a problem. But I did enjoy her performance, and I liked her arc in general. I think that towards the end, she should have had something more interesting as a finale for her arc, but it was anticlimactic, which honestly is okay because everyone else got a really nice ending. But that does it for the acting and the plot. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I think there are a couple little plot holes that are kind of a problem, but for the most part, I really enjoyed watching this movie. And again, it's a fantastic family movie, so if you have friends or family over, this is a good one to watch. Get some popcorn. If you're an adult, grab a beer and like enjoy this film. I really enjoyed it, and it's fun to watch. It's on Disney Plus, so if you have a subscription, you can do that. And I'm going to give this movie an A. That's going to do it for me today. Let's see. We have one more review coming out this week. We have Fargo, which is a request. So look forward to that. Also tomorrow I'll be releasing my WandaVision 4, Episode 4 review. I gotta watch that in the morning and I'll send you guys my review. But that really does it for me today. I hope you guys stay tuned for tomorrow. And then next week we are going to begin the DCEU next week. Nope, that was this week. We're actually not doing a DCEU next week. Monday we're doing Your Honor instead of DCEU because Your Honor will be done. And then we're going to continue on the same pattern. So hope you guys stay tuned. Please consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. It really helps me out a lot. We're at 62 at the time of filming. I'd love to be at 65. That'd be really cool. But that's going to do it for me today. As always, keep watching movies and television. Stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.